Mr. Pig and Jess finally reach the convent where that dejected event took place. Suddenly, a mysterious guy appears out of nowhere, assuming a battle stance. Mr. Pig immediately recognizes him as the guy he saw outside that scarf shop and wonders if he's after Jess. At that moment, the guy launches a massive attack, striking a Heckripin hiding behind them. He ambushes the Heckripin and eventually kills it, contemplating Mr. Pig to believe that he's a troublesome guy. Jess questions Mr. Pig regarding their next move as he suggests to keep their distance since they cannot beat him. In the meantime, Ceres approaches the guy and greets him. She reassures Jess and Mr. Pig to not worry about him, and Jess believes her. She introduces the guy as Nod. He immediately recognizes Jess as a Yeth who's headed towards the capital and questions their presence here. Ceres reveals that Jess wanted to leave some flowers at the convent and she accompanied them. Hearing this, Nod warns Jess that her scarf is a dead giveaway, that she's a Yema and should change it. Jess tries arguing, but Nod insists that she change the scarf and hands her a skin-colored one. With this, Jess reveals her nape and Nod ties the scarf around her collar. Mr. Pig also deduces that Nod doesn't seem like a dangerous guy. He also asks Ceres and Jess to not reveal his identity since he wants to judge Nod's actions before fully trusting him. Nod then questions Jess regarding her name and she introduces herself, asking if she can visit the convent. Nod replies positively as Jess heads inside and pays her respect to her Yema sisters. She then inquires Nod regarding a hot spring nearby as she wants to wash Mr. Pig. Nod mocks her by asking if she wants to swim, but Jess further clarifies her intentions and Nod agrees to accompany them. Upon reaching the hot spring, Jess begins washing Mr. Pig as Ceres and Nod watch them. Jess and Mr. Pig have a weird conversation regarding their intentions for helping out each other as Mr. Pig reveals that he just wanted to feel her soft thighs up against his skin. Ceres, on the other hand, notices that Nod is constantly staring towards Jess and gets worried. Back at the inn, Nod orders 2 bears, one for himself and one for Jess. In the meantime, the inn owner also approaches Nod, asking him regarding his hunting. Nod reassures her that he will deliver some bear meat tomorrow as she promises to treat him to a stew. He asks if Jess can also participate, but the owner apologizes, stating that she cannot keep Jess for too long. She realizes what Nod is after and compels him to stick to hunting. With this, Ceres serves them with beer. Jess reveals that she hasn't tasted alcohol before, but Nod insists that she should at least try. As they are drinking, Jess questions the reason behind killing that Heckripin. Nod tells her that they only bring misfortune and are better off dead. Nod also questions her regarding Mr. Pig as she reveals that they share the same destiny, which shocks him. Following this, Nod accompanies Jess to her room as she is drunk. Mr. Pig is worried about her and questions her regarding this. Jess reassures him that Nod is not the type of person who will assault her. Upon reaching the room, Jess plummets on her bed and falls asleep. Nod locks the door with Mr. Pig trapped outside. He attempts to break the door, but remembers Jess' words and decides to trust her. He even hears Nod asking if he can lay his head on her chest, but remains calm. Ceres, on the other hand, attempts to drink the leftover beer, but couldn't bring herself to do so. This makes her realize that she is indeed a bad Yema. After some time, Nod leaves the room and Mr. Pig enters it to check if everything is fine. He observes everything and deduces that nothing happened here. Suddenly, Ceres appears out of nowhere and asks Mr. Pig to accompany her as she wants to talk about something important. She then takes him to a mountain top and asks him to reveal his identity in the morning. This shocks Mr. Pig and he inquires the reason behind this. Ceres also speculates that Nod will definitely come to see Jess in the morning, which further shocks him. Suddenly, Ceres starts crying, which makes Mr. Pig wonders if something is wrong. Ceres further tells him that Nod cares a lot about Jess and it is quite obvious that he likes her. With this, Ceres falls on him and starts bawling. This makes him realize that Ceres is deeply in love with Nod. Ceres knows that being a child, this is wrong, but she cannot help but feel this way and doesn't want Nod to leave. Mr. Pig cannot comprehend what she means and acts muddled. Ceres resolves his confusion by revealing that Nod wants to become Jess' chaperone. She further reveals that for a Yema to reach the capital, she needs a brave and trustworthy companion, and that companion is known as chaperone. These chaperones also vanish alongside the Yema. Ceres then asks Mr. Pig if he wants Nod to become Jess' chaperone since he also loves Jess. Hearing this, Mr. Pig responds in a sophisticated manner. He tells her that love is a strong word and for adults, it is quite difficult to cope with their feelings. Ceres has spent a long time alongside Not, getting to know him, developing feelings for him, and her love deserves appreciation. Ceres then questions if his love doesn't deserve appreciation. Mr. Pig reveals that he met Jess some time ago and he developed feelings for her due to her kindness, and it would be too selfish to keep Jess for himself without her consent. He further states that he cannot interfere with Jess' journey because of his personal desires. Hearing this, Ceres asks Mr. Pig to convey his feelings to Not through her, as this is also a Yema skill. Ceres also comments that she cannot compete with Jess no matter how hard she tries, and starts crying. Mr. Pig attempts to console her, stating that he possesses her own charm, which makes Ceres question if Mr. Pig is interested in young girls. He realizes that this sounded perverted and renounces his words. Ceres then tells Mr. Pig that Jess resembles the Yema Not fell in love with before. Mr. Pig immediately realizes that the hanging collar in the inn must belong to that Yema. Ceres then narrates her entire story regarding the convent incident and how Yema hunters took her away. Hearing all this, Mr. Pig deduces that Not's hatred of Heckripin is also related to this incident, with Ceres appreciating his deducing skills. She further unfolds how Not wears a pendant with her image etched to it and even uses her bones as part of hilt of his twin swords. As long as his grudge against the Yema hunters persists, his twin swords will be enveloped in flames and he'll continue slaughtering Yema hunters, and there's no room for Ceres in his heart. Following morning, Jess wakes up and finds Mr. Pig sitting beside her. She apologizes for avoiding Mr. Pig last night and falling asleep without notifying him. Mr. Pig assures her that he's not angry at all and just wanted her to rest, inquiring about her health. With this, they head towards the inn for breakfast. At the inn, there's a strange awkward silence between everyone as Not is sitting away from them. Suddenly, Mr. Pig sneezes and this breaks the ice as Not approaches Jess, who greets him. As he is about to say something, Ceres interferes and reveals Mr. Pig's identity in an awkward fashion. He couldn't comprehend what she is saying and Mr. Pig has to communicate to him through Ceres. He introduces himself as Jess' partner and chaperone, which shocks Not. Much to everyone's surprise, Mr. Pig asks Not to accompany them to the capital. I wonder why Mr. Pig asked Not to accompany even after knowing that he is interested in Jess. I guess he wants someone strong to protect her. But, what will happen to Ceres then? Make sure to like and subscribe, so you don't miss out on anything.